to McNeese State. Gators win 49-7. Gentlemen, I know McNeese State is not a good football program. A lot of teams haven't played good football programs, but what were your thoughts on the game Saturday night?
We say this a lot, Dan. None of the players scheduled McNeese. Nobody on the coaching staff scheduled McNeese. You need to beat the teams you're supposed to beat the way you're supposed to beat them. And that's what Florida did. I think more than anything, I don't take much away from the game other than I think it's a palate cleanser. I lived through overtime at FAU, lived through Georgia Southern. Like, I've seen these games turn into nightmares. And Florida goes out, other than, a late score, should have pitched a shutout. That was an offensive turnover that turns into points. I think it's just a palate cleanser. Florida had lost 4 straight games. So, like, there was no club dub in the locker room, nothing really to feel good about after these games. So to me, palate cleanser, gain some confidence, get a bunch of young guys in the game, get them some experience, and not much to go over on the game film, I'm assuming. Turn your attention to Tenenssee.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. Similar vibes. Love that the young boys got to play. Opportunity to correct some things in the run game. It is, considering the competition is the competition, but I was concerned with the 7 and 3 carries last week. I didn't think Graham Mertz needed a whole lot of work. After 44 passes week 1, we kind of know what he can do. Very stiff competition, I thought, last week. So I liked where his attempts was at, around 17. I would love to have him between 17 and 25. I don't think 17 is a number you can stand on in SEC play, but around 25 to 30 in SEC play if we run effectively. So I love to see that the run game featured all 3 guys. They kind of got their own series between Trayon Webb, Montrell Johnson, and Trevor Etienne. I thought Graham Mertz was accurate. He's throwing at almost 74% right now on the completion rate. He's at like 526 yards total. I think he's playing really good football. He's played some stiff competition and some easy competition, but he's been in command. Like that, we got a deep shot down the field. I do want to see him work in some more receivers, and every quarterback has their favorite target. So I expect him to have somebody, and Ricky Pearsall being his favorite target. I'm not mad at that. I like what I saw to Eugene Wilson. Every time he touched the ball, he's super explosive. Want to see more of Aldis Bortenham. Jonathan Odom just doesn't look like he's all the way back. I know they're saying he's 100%, but it just doesn't look. He looks a little slow. So just happy with the output. Bryce Thornton surprised me. He got some good minutes. I think Jordan Castell led the team in snaps on the defensive side of the ball with 27. Loved all the young boys. Jakeem Jackson needs to come down with that pick next time, but he's jumping routes, looking like a future, number 1 CB1 type guy. Just love all the young players playing. I think TJ Searcy deserves more minutes. He's special. I don't know who was doing the rankings and the stars and stuff, but he's a guy that can contribute and play right now. The thing I liked about this game, McNeese State is going to be a team that's going to play their starters damn near the whole game because they're fighting. So I saw their starters in. So when we bring our 2 deep in, 3 deep in, they're getting the same look as our ones. So you get to see different players on different levels of the depth chart play the same competition, play the same offensive tackles, and you get to see who's more productive. I haven't looked at any PFF, but just looking at number 19, he's different. I think he needs more snaps earlier in the game. I think he can make a difference on the other side of the ball. His get off, his strength is next level for a true freshman. But overall, not a bad game. We got to figure out special teams. Another special teams blunder. Missed that. Had a whole incident with the extra point that should be automatic. Every week is just something, man. Clean it up. I do like we only had 4 penalties for 20 yards. So the discipline was better this week at home. But that's how I can summarize it. Week 3 is the measuring stick for me.
Yeah, no, Silk.
Cersei's got an 80 grade on PFF. 5 tackles, half tackle for loss. I think you're just going to continue seeing him get more burn.
He's different.
Let's look at some of the PFF stuff. Like you said, Silk, Graham Mertz, they have him throwing 18 passes. I know the stat sheet said 17, but when blitzed, he was 5 of 7 for 61 yards, not blitzed, 9 of 11 for 132 yards. Sorry. Silk, you made a good point. Do want to see them stretch the field a little bit more. I tweeted about it, and that's when they had that 50-yard bomb to score a touchdown. Graham Mertz only threw 7 passes, beyond 10 yards. He completes 4 of those. So want to see a little bit more when it comes to first down throws or 10 plus yard throws. But so far, his numbers on the year are strong. almost 74%, 526 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But again, I think that you saw the rushing attack, which was nowhere to be seen against Utah. They go for 327 yards, 6 total touchdowns, rushing the ball, including all of the running backs getting at least 1 touchdown. Trayon Webb gets 2. I think for all intents and purposes that you did exactly what you wanted to do. You had a walk-on, I believe, fumble there at the end. They had a short field. They go and score a touchdown to not pitch the shutout. Ultimately, the spread was 46. So if you had the Gators minus 46, unfortunately, bad beat there at the end of the game. But winning 49-7 is what you want to do. I wrote them down. Silk, you've mentioned a lot of them. I thought Jakeem Jackson played really well. I thought Jordan Castell played really well. I thought Bryce Thornton played well. TJ Searcy played well. And I thought Shamar James, of course, continued to play really, really well. Want to still see a little bit more out of our defensive line. I know Princely got his first sack. I think it was in the 3rd quarter. Still not seeing the push that I think that they were expected to have this season when we talked about them before. But ultimately, that's probably still the biggest area of opportunity. I thought pass blocking did well. Run blocking was improved. But again, it's the competition that they were playing with. But you end the game.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Just the pad level of 99 needs to be better. I'm with you with the push. I just think it was tough this game because they got rid of the ball so quick to really gauge it. But I'm with you. I just think to get off, and I just seen them better get off from some of the younger guys. And I don't know if Cam Jackson is more suited for run than he is pass. And I would like to get his PFF numbers to see what the difference and how effective he is when teams drop back to pass. Because I would like to see a better get off as well. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I just want.
No, you're fine, and I can pull those up for you right now. On run plays, Cam Jackson, they graded him a 72 on run plays, and then in pass rush, they ranked him a 58.4. So didn't he only played? They only had 3 pass rush grades for Cam Jackson. So, again, it's a small sample size as a whole. But, definitely run defense was stronger for him in that game. Overall,
PFF has him rated 32nd of 37 guys who have played on the defense. But within 1.2 points between pass and rush.
Yeah, and there just wasn't probably enough plays. The Gators were cycling out a lot of people, in the game, even early on in the game. So not a huge sample size there. If you go through PFF, they ranked the Gators an 80.8 overall on offense. Pass blocking got an 88.4. That was their highest position group or position rating. On defense, they gave him an 80.4. Offense was a 71.5 overall. Defense was an 80.4 overall. Rush defense was the highest with 84.9, and then coverage not far behind at 81.5. I thought coverage was strong. Silk, you mentioned that play with Jakeem Jackson. It didn't even look like he was trying to intercept it. But I think next time he goes for that interception, I think he had an extra step in him. But a great pass breakup there.
My JUCO coach, I was playing JUCO ball, and I did something similar, right? So I come across on a post route. I knocked the ball down, and back then it was the throat slit. That was the thing in my old days. It's banned now. I do this. I come to the sideline, go to the field. My coach said, I can get anybody to knock the ball down, son. Like, catch that. I need you to come down with the ball. And that always stuck with me. Anybody can knock it down, bro. You're in a position because you're super athletic, you're super instinctful. Grab that ball, be a ball hawk. You know, think that you're on offense. He gonna snag that next time.
PFF top 10 defensive players: Jakeem Jackson, Shamar James, Jamari Lyons, TJ Searcy, Jalen Kimber, Cam Jackson, Justin Pellick, Miguel Mitchell, Jack Pyburn, and Jaden Robinson round out the top 10. Nick, you mentioned Jordan Castell gets the most snaps, Jason Marshall, then Miguel Mitchell, then Jalen Kimber and Manny Nunnery round out the top 5.
Yeah, I think Jordan Castell, the only player on defense that has played more snaps than him is Jason Marshall. And there's really no need to take Jason Marshall off the field unless he's tapping his helmet and, needs to sit.
You guys surprised Kamari Wilson hasn't played as much this year?
No.
Okay.
No, I think we all kind of talked about it. He had a spark during camp, and then we were saying maybe we were wrong, but I think it's kind of playing out the way we've all been, hearing throughout the offseason a little bit. Shout out to Jaden Hill, who played a good game considering the competition, but I thought he played a good game at the star position and was in position. I thought he made some tackles behind the line of scrimmage, made some plays in the passing game. So he was super effective, I thought, this week.
Miguel Mitchell, Jakeem Jackson was number 1 overall in coverage for the defense. Miguel Mitchell, number 2, Jaden Hill, 3, and Jalen Kimber, 4. So overall, great game by the defensive backs there.
Jaden Hill graded out better against McNeese than Utah, which gives credence to Dan's life motto: as the season goes, as Jaden Hill goes.
Things that,
Oh, man, do that. I thought we wasn't gonna do that. We can't do that 2 years in a row. We got to change.
Can't help myself. If
you are watching,
I'm gonna help you. Help yourself. We're not gonna do that.
Smash that like button. Appreciate that. Fragrance Journey. So that's where we're at on defense. Let's break down offense a little bit more from PFF. Just give me 1 second here. Offense. Top 10 players on offense: Montrell Johnson, Ricky Pearsall, Taylor Spirito, Trevor Etienne, Eugene Wilson, Damian George. Big improvement from him. Najee Harris, Graham Mertz, Aiden Mizell, and then Christian Williams, who is a left guard. On offense, Eugene Wilson again put the ball in his hands, and he's going to make some big plays there. Graham Mertz plays the most snaps on offense, then Ricky Pearsall, then Jake Slaughter, Richie Leonard, Caleb Douglas, Eugene Wilson, Damian George, Najee Harris. Lindell Hudson gets a bunch of snaps there at left tackle, and then Hayden Hansen gets 40 snaps himself at tight end.
Yeah. Any offensive thoughts? No, I like we got to see Max Brown play a little bit. He connected with Aiden Mizell on a fairly decent route. I was thinking it was like 20-something yards, something like that. So I'm glad that we got to see more guys. I spoke about the efficiency of Graham Mertz. He's playing better than I think most people gave him credit for all summer. He was going to be a terrible football player. So he's efficient. Offense is efficient. I think the real measuring stick is this week. We'll see where we at with it. The run game can do what it could do in the swamp with a crowd playing ahead. This team is going to be a little different with that defense. You got the home field. So I would like to see us jump out. Getting a little bit ahead of myself talking Tennessee, but that's the real measuring stick for me right now to see where the offense is at. I
saw you tweet that people were talking. Am I lumped into that? I don't think I've been a Mertz hater. I was just I was talking. I said trashing his name. There's a difference than being critical. That's rational to say, I don't know, this guy wasn't the best at Wisconsin. I'm not expecting a whole lot of him coming to Gainesville. That's rational. But it was some people out there just waking up every morning mad at Billy Napier for bringing in Graham Mertz and just dragging this kid's name. I think it's unhealthy fanism. Like, to be real with you, this is a whole person. Okay, if you disagree with the kid coming over or the take,
that's all cool. You get your take off, but every day the slanderous stuff, people making jokes and memes about the kid every single day. It was over the top. And now the kid, like, he could play ball a little bit, man. I like him. I'm just gonna keep it a bean. I want to see the kids succeed. I like what I saw so far. I'm not gonna fluff anything. He got some moxie about himself. He put his body on the line. He looks in command of the huddle. He's a tough kid, bro. And I like his mindset. I like the way he's built. He's a leader. So I'm rocking with him. But the slander this kid got all season was insane. Some of y'all got to get a grip.
Yeah.
I think
there was like a GIF that was popular right after he signed, and it's of him in Wisconsin, and it's like flashes Graham Mertz is not good. I think he's proven a lot of haters wrong. I think he's doing as much, if not more, than we expected out of him so far 2 games into the season. I like his energy. I like his enthusiasm. I like his engagement on the sideline too. He's around his team all the time. He's not standing off by himself. So those are things that you want and see out of a leader, and you want that out of your quarterback position with the group, trying to get coached up, trying to get better.
Amen.
So everything that you've seen out of Graham Mertz so far, I've been more than impressed by. Is he going to win the Heisman Trophy? No, probably not. Is he going to be a top 2 or 3 round draft pick at quarterback? I don't know. But right now, what we thought Graham Mertz might be, and all the slander that he got about how many quarterbacks that Billy Napier looked at and everything else before they finally settled on Graham Mertz, I think you have to pause all of those harsh takes that you had and say, hey, this guy's doing what we've asked him to do. The one turnover he has, maybe a miscommunication on a route, Ricky Pearsall goes right through his hands. Other than that, I think that he's done just about anything that you want out of him and more. Would like to see some more downfield passing, but this is what we have so far, and they're moving the football. I think that the Gators scored on every drive all the way up until the fumble, right, Nick?
Scored in their first 7.
First 7 drives.
First 7 drives of the game.
I still don't like the pace, I would say. Like, I like that we were scoring, but sometimes, like, I don't know. Like, it's just the pace, I think, is a little off. The feel of the game. Like we was going to impose our will on that team regardless. We were productive, we were efficient, but I don't know. It seems like we're missing some sauce there. And I want to monitor it throughout the season, but there is some chemistry that a good play caller has, to set things up, and I'm not seeing that part of the game. And we'll let it all play out. We got Tenenssee a big week. Hypo is one of those guys that can coach. I don't know if he has a quarterback to execute, but I'm not seeing that part of the play calling,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to see
ranks,
this
hold on
week.
Hold on one second, Nick. Nick, Florida ranks 15th in the in FBS in time of possession. Definitely don't rank up there on a number of offensive plays, though.
I don't think that you'll see it this week, just with the rate at which Tenenssee operates and moves on offense. I don't know that you want to, hey, we need to try to match that. That's not your game. I don't think you try to go outside of your box, outside of your lane, and try to match Tenenssee. And you might just say, hey, we might need to slow it down on offense just to get our defense a break. Because, like, Tenenssee is no pit stop, gas tanks full, 100 miles an hour. They're trying to run, 150 plays a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got to dial that back with Big Joe. All things there be some fast 3 and outs, bro. I think they're gonna have to slow it down a little bit with Joe. His accuracy and moving the chains isn't as good as what they had last year. So I hope they come out there real fast and give us 2 quick 3 and outs type. That'd be perfect. But I'm with you with the pace wise. We can't try to go. I just think it's moments in the game where you can, and being able to pick your spots, and that's. I think the feel for football and the feel for being an elite play caller isn't analytical. I think it's a talent and it's a feel for the game, And I think most of the stuff we're doing is ran off of analytics, and that's just my take right now. I don't want to keep harping on OCs every week of the season because we're not going to get an OC. I think that's just terrible communication in media from my standpoint. I got a take on it. I think we need to change something with the play caller and the OC, but for us to complain about it every week on Twitter every day, it's like the Graham Mertz thing. Like asking for something that's not going to change from week to week is just a waste of time. But I do want to see some different chemistry from that. So I don't know if it's a passing game coordinator or what it may be.
Yeah. So looking back, Gators again do win 49-17. game, or 49-7, pardon me, game does look overall strong for the Gators. They move the ball at will. Do want to point out something else as well. Obviously, this was a major Achilles heels for the Florida Gators last year. Gators allowed almost 50% on third down last year. It was, I think, the worst or second to worst in the FBS as a whole last season. Right now, the Gators, let me just get the exact number here. Sorry, I had it and then got off of that screen. The Gators right now rank 7th in the country, allowing just 5 of 23 on conversions for 21.74%. So a drastic improvement for the Gators overall. And then if you're looking at total defense, the Gators rank as the number 30 overall defense in the country, just behind Air Force and Memphis. So again, you play who's on your schedule and you beat the teams the way you're supposed to beat them. But right now you got to give Austin Armstrong some flowers 2 games into the season that the Gators right now had the number 3 defense in the country.
Yeah, big week for him versus Heupel.
Mm-hmm.
If he could, dial up some stuff, we're gonna need pressure on Milton. Hopefully we can get home with the front 4, but if not, we gotta put pressure on them. We at home, and I expect that. So I'm ready to see what Austin Armstrong looks like versus one of the top play callers I think in college football right now, and Heupel and his crew. So we'll see what's up.
Absolutely. 2 other notes that we do want to mention before we get out of here. Defensive back Jadarius Perkins has announced that he will be transferring after the season is over. His former number 27 is now Dijon Johnson's number. Makes a switch from 26.
I don't even know if they washed the jersey.
Yeah, they just took the nameplate right off and gave him that. Yeah, so he's gone. And then Dakota Mitchell, another defensive back, redshirt sophomore, I believe, has announced that he's going to be medically retiring from the University of Florida. He did say that he's going to get his degree from UF as well, which is smart because we want to give the Wall Street Journal a shout out for ranking UF as the number 1 public school in the